Hi everyone, it's Dr. G. In this video, I want to talk about marriage and family. Let's start with a few definitions. Family is a social institution that unites people in cooperative groups to care for one another. Marriage is a legal relationship, usually involving economic cooperation, sexual activity, and perhaps childbearing. Here are some additional terms related to marriage. Endogamy refers to marriage between people of the same social category. And this is that society expects us to marry certain types of people. Who do they expect us to marry? Someone within our own race and ethnic group, someone similar in age, someone in our own religion, and someone closely related to our socioeconomic status or our level of wealth. Now, there are a couple groups that society expects us not to marry, and that refers to exogamy, which is marriage between people of different social categories. One group of people that society expects us not to marry will be our own family members, and even in 2020, the other group of people that society expects us not to marry would be people of the same sex. Continuing with additional concepts related to marriage, we have what most Americans would consider to be very odd, and that's polygamy, marriage that unites 3 or more people. And you have to ask yourself, why do we consider it to be odd? And I would postulate that the reason is because it's something that we are not familiar with and something that we don't practice. There are 2 forms of polygamy. You have polyandry, which is extremely rare. It's marriage that unites 1 woman and 2 or more men. And the common form of polygamy is polygyny, marriage that unites 1 man and 2 or more women. And you can see that polygamy is quite common in the world, specifically in Africa and the Middle East. Let's take a look at marriage and family in the US. There are a few topics that we will take a quick look at: divorce, singlehood, childbearing, cohabitation, postponing marriage, single-parent families, and marriage equality. Divorce in the US has generally gone up over the last 100 years. There are several reasons for that, including the creation of what's called no-fault divorce in 1970 in the state of California, women's rights movements back in the 1960s and 1970s. Also, divorce was considered a taboo back in the 1950s and before that. But society has kind of redefined what it means to get a divorce, and it's no longer a taboo. You can see that there are different rates of divorce across the US, and the darker colored greens here represent the states that have the highest divorce rates. Singlehood. More and more Americans are deciding to not get married and to remain single. Childbearing. More and more people in the US are deciding to have fewer and fewer children, and more couples are deciding to not have any children at all. Cohabitation, or living together. Many years ago, it was considered inappropriate for people to live together prior to getting married. We have redefined what it means to live together or to cohabitate, and today it's quite common for people to cohabitate. Postponing marriage. Americans are generally waiting longer and longer and are older than ever before when getting married. Single-parent families. Not too long ago, it was considered to be a taboo for someone to be a single parent. but there has been a trend. The trend is that more and more people are single parent families for a few reasons. And today it is no longer considered to be a taboo. And marriage equality. You can see here in global perspective that there are very few countries around the world in which marriage equality or same-sex marriage is legal. You can see in North America, Central America, and in South America, and over in Europe, and just a couple other countries around the world. But more and more countries are providing for same-sex couples to get married. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.